The sun hung low over the ochre rooftops of Kedah, casting long shadows over the winding paths that snaked through the dusty town. In the heart of it, near a crooked fence lined with tin cans, Aissatou sat with her back against the great baobab tree, her fingers weaving palm fronds into a basket. Her dark eyes were fixed on the road that led to the fields, where Moussa was expected any moment. The air smelled of millet and roasted groundnuts, and somewhere in the distance, the call of the muezzin floated lazily through the heat. Life here was slow but rich in its own rhythm. Moussa finally appeared, his shirt damp with sweat and his grin lopsided. "They say you're becoming the best weaver in Kedah," he said, dropping beside her with a playful nudge. Aissatou rolled her eyes. "They say you're the laziest farmer west of the Niger." They laughed, an easy, familiar sound. Since childhood they had shared everything, stories, secrets, even scraps of food. Under this very baobab, they had whispered plans of one day leaving Kedah together to build a life in Bamako. A shop for Aissatou's weaving. A field for Moussa's mangoes. A home filled with books and music. They had made a promise under this tree, sealing it with a string tied between its branches. But dreams, Aissatou knew, were fragile things, like baskets left in the rain. Her father had once said, "The world has many ways of testing your heart." As Moussa leaned back on his elbows, staring up at the sky, neither of them saw the cloud of dust rising from the road outside town. A convoy of foreign trucks was making its way toward Kedah, and with it, a storm that would soon test everything they had ever believed in. The trucks arrived with a rumble that stirred every household in Kedah. Dust spiraled into the air, settling on corrugated rooftops and curious faces that peered from windows. Aissatou watched from behind the loom shop, her hands stilled mid-pattern. Foreigners in reflective vests climbed down from the vehicles, followed by Malian men in crisp suits. They set up base near the old colonial building, the one that once housed the district administrator, now abandoned. Moussa wandered over later, his forehead creased. "They say it's a mining company. Gold. They want to drill on land near the hills." Aissatou's face tightened. "Your family's land?" He nodded slowly. The land had belonged to his grandfather and was rich in red earth and stories. Now it was being measured by strangers. "Papa says we should listen. They're offering more money than we could earn in 5 lifetimes." Aissatou didn't answer. She looked toward the baobab, its wide limbs reaching skyward like a warning. Representatives from the mining company began holding meetings at the town square, offering contracts, promising schools, clinics, and paved roads. Young men were intrigued, old men were cautious. Moussa's uncle urged him to accept. "You're no longer a child playing under trees. This is an opportunity for progress." Moussa was torn. He remembered the day he and Aissatou planted mango saplings behind the baobab, dreaming aloud of a shared future. But the documents the company handed out glistened with the scent of wealth. Money to buy tractors, build houses, leave behind their dusty roots. When Aissatou found him staring at the forms, her voice was quiet. "They can offer you gold, Moussa. But they can't offer you peace." He folded the paper but didn't throw it away. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some elders claimed the mining would poison the wells. Others whispered of curses tied to the land. The imam called for calm, but tension crackled in every conversation. Children mimicked the mining trucks with sticks and tin cans, while mothers worried about noise and disease. Aissatou's mother urged her to stay away from Moussa. "His eyes are not looking where yours are. Don't let love blind you to the road ahead." But Aissatou couldn't help herself. She confronted Moussa beneath the baobab, her voice trembling. "If you sell the land, you sell us too." Moussa flinched. "I'm trying to build something real." She touched the string they once tied to a low branch, now weathered and fraying. "Then why does everything feel like it's breaking?" Conflicted and desperate, Moussa went to see Imam Boubacar. The elderly cleric listened as the young man poured out his dilemma. "I want to do right by my family. But I made a promise to Aissatou. We dreamed together." The imam smiled, tapping his prayer beads. "Dreams are the wings of youth. But choices are the roots of manhood." He paused. "What good is a tree, Moussa, if it bears gold but no fruit?" The words stayed with him as he left the mosque. The mining company had begun bringing in equipment. The town was shifting. But his heart was still anchored under the baobab. The company upped their offer. Double the money, a permanent job for Moussa as a liaison and relocation assistance. His father leaned hard. "We've been poor too long. You can't live on loyalty to a girl and a tree." The family pressure grew unbearable. Moussa tried to explain to Aissatou. "Maybe we can use the money for our dreams. A shop. University. A better house." But Aissatou shook her head. If we uproot everything for gold, what kind of roots will we plant? Her fingers gripped the woven bracelet he had once gifted her. You're changing, Moussa. And it's not the kind of growth we prayed for. Determined not to stand still while everything shifted, Aissatou made a choice. She applied for a women's artisanship program in Bamako. It was competitive, but she had talent. When the acceptance letter arrived weeks later, she didn't cry. She packed. She met Moussa at the baobab one last time. I'm leaving next week, she said. He was stunned. You're giving up? She shook her head. I'm moving forward. With or without you. The wind rustled through the tree, whispering memories. Moussa watched her walk away, the bracelet still wrapped tightly on her wrist. Surveyors from the mining company placed red stakes along the hillsides. The land was being prepared. Bulldozers roared to life. Moussa signed the papers. The money came quickly. His family moved into a cement house with shiny tiles and satellite TV. But the baobab stood still, untouched. He visited it often, but the place felt different now. The tree no longer whispered, only watched. The mango saplings were gone, cleared with the rest of the brush. Even the air smelled different, oil and diesel instead of clay and millet. Progress, they called it. Aissatou no longer wrote. Moussa sent letters through friends, but no replies came. He saw her once on TV, featured in a segment about traditional weaving from Mali. She smiled as she spoke to the reporter, confident, strong, alive. He tried to feel happy for her, but all he felt was hollow. The money, the job, the house, it was all real. But she was not. Their world had split under the weight of his decision. He returned to the baobab and untied the old string, letting it fall. It had frayed like everything else. Reports came that the local well had turned murky. Some livestock died. Children fell ill. People whispered of contamination from the mines. The town's doctor warned about arsenic traces. Suddenly, the promises of paved roads and clinics seemed less important. Moussa stood before the company's office, now surrounded by fences and guards. They dismissed his concerns. We're within operational safety limits. But safety didn't return the goat his mother buried, or the cough that lingered in his nephew's lungs. The gold came with a cost, and they were only just beginning to count it. One dusty afternoon, a bus rumbled into Keita. From it stepped Aissatou, older, sharper, clothed in woven cloth she had made herself. She walked through the town like a memory given flesh. Children greeted her. Elders nodded respectfully. She didn't go to Moussa's house. She went straight to the baobab. She sat beneath it, feeling the cracked earth under her palm. You've changed too, she whispered to the tree. Moussa heard she was back but hesitated to see her. His pride and shame battled within. But fate had more to unfold. Aissatou was invited to speak at a town meeting. Her voice carried calm authority. This mine may bring money, but at what cost? If we lose our land, our water, our people, what will we use the money for? Some scoffed. Others clapped. Moussa watched from the back, face lowered. Later, he approached her in silence. You came back. She nodded. For the baobab. For the town. Not for you. His heart stung. But he didn't defend himself. He simply said, help me fix what I broke. Aissatou and Moussa began working with local NGOs to investigate the mine's practices. They gathered testimonies, water samples, and photographic evidence. International attention grew. Suddenly, the company's grip began to loosen. Moussa felt something shift within himself. He was no longer the boy chasing gold. He was a man fighting for home. Aissatou didn't forgive him outright, but she stood beside him under the baobab again. We can still grow something, he said. She looked at the barren patch where the saplings once stood. Then let's plant it. They planted a new mango sapling beside the baobab together this time. Children gathered to watch. The imam blessed it. The air felt lighter. The mining company pulled back its operations under pressure. Moussa used part of the money to support clean water initiatives and repair farmland. Aissatou began teaching weaving to young girls. Moussa trained boys in sustainable farming. The baobab became a symbol, not just of what had been but of what could still be saved. They no longer spoke of escaping Keita. They spoke of rebuilding it. Years later, under the shade of the great baobab and the now tall mango tree, Moussa and Aissatou sat together, their hands stained with soil and sunlight. Children ran past, chasing goats and laughter. The air was filled with new songs, ones of resilience and renewal. Moussa turned to her. Do you ever regret staying? Aissatou smiled. Only when the dust gets in my weaving. They both laughed. In the distance, the mine was quiet. The land, scarred but healing, breathed easier. And under the trees where they once dreamed, they had planted something far greater than gold. Roots that would outlast them both.